Hello everyone, myself Chandrasekhar welcoming you all to this important and wonderful session where I will be discussing about 5 important areas or the 5 important points you should take care before going for any interview. As you all know, the interview is a part of any selection process like engineering services examination, PSUs, and even if you are going to an IIT for your MTech, you will be going to face an interview. In some of the selection, interview becomes a part. It carries some weightage in your overall selection process, but in some of the selection process, interview becomes the only deciding factor for your final selection. And that is the reason you should take the interview very seriously. I have seen the students who had performed very well in their written examination but could not get through only because of their performance in the interview. So before I start, let me quickly introduce myself. I am mechanical engineering graduate from IIT Delhi, also cleared engineering services examination and worked in Steel Authority of India Limited for a couple of years. From last 11 years, I have been guiding the students who are preparing for various competitive examinations like GATE, ESC and other PSUs. If you want to connect with me, if you want to discuss anything with me, you can connect through my official mail ID or you can join me on the Telegram, that is Mechanical by Chandrasekhar. The link is already mentioned here. So let us come back to the interview. There are few things about your characters which cannot be judged through the written examination. They can only be judged through your physical appearance or your mental appearance, and that is the reason interview is a integral part of the selection process. So interview is like a blind date. How? Because the interview does not know what he or she is going to ask you. For each and every candidate, the type of the questions are different. And at the same time, you are not aware, you are also unaware that what the interviewer is going to ask. So in a blind date, what matters most is your good impressions only count. In the blind date and similarly in the interview, awkwardness can occur. And the third is the outcomes are unpredictable. After the interview, you cannot say that you have performed very well, you will get highest marks, or you have performed very bad and you will be getting the lowest marks. There are examples where the student thought that he had performed very well but he did not get the marks. Similarly, the student who thought that he did not perform very well but he got the better marks, because it is the soft skills which are going to be judged through the interview. So let us talk about those points which the interview is going to judge about your personality, and that is why the interview is called a personality test. So number one, your leadership ability, whether you are able to lead a team or not. So they can ask you some hypothetical situation to check whether you will be able to lead a team or not, or they can ask you about your past experience, past examples where you have shown your leadership abilities. So that is number one. Number two, your initiative taking ability or your intellectual curiosity. whether you are having the interest in knowing new things or not. Even if you do not know, whether you are interested to learn new things, or whether you are open for going deep down into the technical concepts or into the engineering concepts. That curiosity is again judged through the physical appearance, and your ability to be a team player. Leading a team is one thing, and being a team player without hurting the sentiments of your team members. Have you managed to be a good team player? That is another. Next is your level of energy, your mental energy level as well as your physical energy level. Whether you are energetic, motivated or not. And number 5 is your power of practical application. So let me tell you, technical portion is one part in the complete interview selection process, or interview in the whole interview process. So an interview is not a test of your knowledge, but your ability to use the knowledge at the right time and in the right manner. So the whole interview process is having 3 stages normally. It is having the duration from 30 minutes to 45 minutes normally. In interview, the first part of the interview, which is from 10 minutes to 15 minutes, is about your comfort area. The interviewer normally start their interview from the questions from your resume, from your personality, whatever you have mentioned in your profile about your education, about your hobbies, about your interest, about your projects, etc. That is very comfortable area for the students because they are well prepared for them. The next 10 to 15 minutes is quite discomforting. Even if they are asking the technical questions, they will start asking the deep technical questions or the practical aspect of the technical concepts. Or even if they are asking some general questions, then they will be kind of opinion based, which does not have yes or no answer. So that is a little discomforting for the students. And finally, the last 10 to 15 minutes is the encouragement. They start encouraging you, the interview panel, to know your status, whether you are interested to join that organization, what are your future plans, because the selection process is very lengthy. So all the interviewer always want the students who is a right fit for that particular job or for a particular course. So that is why the last is the encouragement part. Now the tips which I was talking about, you should always take care for going for any interview. If you are going to face any interview in the near future, the first one is the preparation. If you are fully prepared, thoroughly prepared your resume, then the first 10 to 15 minutes you will rule the interview, and the first 15 to 20 minutes are going to decide the direction in which your interview will go, or even the marks you are going to get in the interview. So prepare your resume, whatever you have written, whatever you have done in your career, prepare each and every areas and appear for the mock interviews so you become more confident. So interview is a lot like talking, but you have to guide the conversation, and that you develop only when you are prepared beforehand. Number 2, your appearance. Your appearance speaks a lot about your personality, and because the interview is a personality test, so your physical appearance, your mental state of mind, your energy level, your body language, these are the characters which are important for acing any interview. Your talent can get you inside the door, but it is your character which will keep you in the room for next 15 to 20 minutes. So work on your appearance, then your approach, your ability to start giving the answer. Even if you do not know the answer, your thinking ability is what matters most. Most of the students think if I have given the answer for 10 questions, then my interview was good. And if I could not be able to answer even 5 questions, my interview was bad. It is not that simple. It is not the final answer which is important, but the presentation, your calmness, if you are composed, if you are confident, if you are positive or not. So whenever an interview asks you a question, listen the question very carefully, give it a thought, how to present, even if you know the answer, but what is the best way to present the answer? That is what is important. Even if you do not know the answer, how you handle the situation, unknown situations, that is what counts more in an interview. Number 4, if you are going for a PSU interview, knowing your employer is always give you an extra edge, because that gives the interviewer an idea that you are very much keen to join the organization, or you are prepared, you have prepared for the interview, you are sincere. So that is again very important. And if you have these things in place, then it shows your dedication, your sincerity, how honest you are, how honestly you are addressing the questions, and how much you are prepared and how much interested you are to join that particular organization. As I told you, in the end, what matters most is whenever a candidate gets selected, then they want the candidate to stay at least for 5 years. Normally what happens, a candidate gets selected and he leaves the organization, either he do not join the organization, or he or she leaves the organization very early. So that is a huge burden to the organization. So they want the candidate who is a right fit in terms of technical knowledge. They have already checked through the written examination, and moreover, if he is very sincere and he is dedicated enough to join the organization, then the candidate will not leave the organization early. So if you take care of these points, believe me, you will definitely be able to ace any interview. So in the last, I would like to say that the secret of acing a job interview is to stop believing in the luck and start believing in yourself. So with this note, let me take your leave now. See you in the next such video. Till then, stay tuned with BYJU'S exam prep. Thank you and Jai Hind.